I think that there's been a few times in the last few years that you have thought about like leaving corporate and doing your own thing and it hasn't quite worked out. Is that like any fear in the back of your mind that this time is going to be a repeat?
I think this time around it felt very different, but it's also because like I've learned a lot from my past mistakes. And I wouldn't say that, yeah, I think they're all failures in a way, but failure is not failure until you give up, right? But in many ways, I've dabbled into so many things before this round. And every time when things didn't work out in the past, I reflect a lot, probably get into like a little cocoon mode and just figure things out and all that. But I think what's different this time is I really I realized that you cannot have a plan B. Because back then, I always had this fear. I've always had this scarcity mindset that, like, okay, what if things don't work out? Money's not enough. I was always stressing out about money. And because of that, I was always functioning from a stressed out state and I couldn't perform at my best. And initially, when I decided to quit my job this time around, I told my husband, like, my savings not that much. So if in a few months' time, if it doesn't work out, I'll get a job. That was the initial plan.
Mhm.
But like now, 2 months in, I realized that like there's no way I'm going back to another job. Because if going back to another job is the plan, you will always like whenever things get tough, right? You're gonna be like, oh, it's okay, I still have that option. But now, without having a plan B, I'm like, how am I going to actually make this work? Yeah.
So it's kind of like a burn the boats mentality when they say, we're not going, there's no way to go back. You don't have a choice. The only way to go is forward. I think it's from the Spanish, when they went to Mexico and the Caribbean, right? There was a lot of the alpha bro type of people talk about that
Okay.
example, burn the boats and then you don't have a choice. But that is a little bit surprising to me from what I know of you because I would think that is it because you're telling yourself you don't have a plan B, but you do have a husband who's supporting you. You have been in a successful career for longer. Like even if it's not your plan B, there's still options out there.
Yes. I think, I mean, the husband element definitely helps to have someone else who is there to maybe support me when things go bad. But at the same time, like knowing myself, I wouldn't let myself get to a state where like everything is paid for by my husband because I know I'll feel really uncomfortable about it. But it's also like, it's also because I'm at a stage where I've built my career to a point where I've built so many people in my network. I've known so many people that I know is going to help me out if things go wrong. And when I say that, it's like maybe they can give me different part-time jobs or and we are also live at a time where like if all else fails, I can just go be a Grab driver. I have a car, so that's an option too. I I told my friend like I'd rather be a Grab driver or be a barista than to go back to a corporate job. It may sound silly, but I feel like if I were to go back to a 9 to 5 that's gonna take up so much of my time and energy, I I wouldn't take that. Because the priority will always be what I want to build. Yeah.
And if you went back to a corporate job, you might get stuck for another 10 years.
Yeah. And it's also because I know I'm the kind of person that if I commit to something, I'm gonna give it my best. Like I know some people can do the part where like they're in a corporate job, but they prioritize their own side hustle first. But I just can't. I've made a promise to you that I'm gonna work well for a company, I will do it. And that's what happened in my last job because I was in a state where I was building my podcast, things were coming up, but I was still always worrying about my job in the background. And I'm always like checking up on that before I put my own stuff first.
And so taking a little bit of a wider view, we talked about obviously quitting your job, getting married, and You also had an injury, I think, at the beginning of the year. So this is like a major year, a lot of stuff happening for you. Does it feel exciting or scary or stressful or what?
I think it's exciting. I think I am very surprised by how much can happen in less than a year. Because I fractured my back just last December and it's less than a year ago. And since then, like, yeah, I got married, I quit my job, and I moved my house. Yeah, I actually moved house too because the owner wanted the place back. And to my surprise, everything is still fine. I'm still in one piece. I'm still surrounded by the people that I love. I have a career that I love. I'm doing things that I like. My bank account is not zero or negative. Like everything is still fine. And so it got me realize how capable we are of changes if we just allow ourselves to go through it. Because with everything that was going on, I could have said no to quitting my job first because I was getting married and then I knew I had to move house. And usually when you move to a newer place, like there are a lot of additional expenses that goes with it. So at that point, I was thinking like, should I still quit my job? And I decided like, you know what, I should still do it. Because if I don't, then my focus is going to be on moving my house and getting married and my day job. I wouldn't have the capacity to build what I've always said I want to build. Yeah.